This will be Personnel Committee for May 12th. Councilmember Zine presiding. Are we going to have Mr. Cardenas and Mr. Parks attend?
Mr. Parks is in budget.
And Mr. Cardenas?
I don't know.
Okay, we haven't heard?
No.
Okay, we have 3 items on the agenda, and we will start with number 1, please.
For item 1, you have a nomination for a commissioner
That's
for
not
the
number
commission.
one.
I'm sorry, my mistake. Item 1 was continued.
Hey, it's 3 o'clock, Ryan, you know? We're here and they're not. That's not our problem.
Do you want to go
No,
to the
go
next
ahead,
item?
proceed.
Okay. Item 1 is the city attorney and ordinance. This is requiring that the city be reimbursed for academy and training costs from officers at the Department of General Services, Los Angeles World Airports, and the Port of Los Angeles, and park rangers, should they leave city service before serving 60 continuous months following successful completion of such training. This item has been recommended for approval by the Public Safety Committee.
Okay, a couple words you failed to mention: voluntarily leave, which is a major issue. If they leave on other circumstances, I don't think they're required to pay. And within a year, they're become employed by another law enforcement agency. So if they leave and go to another law enforcement agency, as I understand the restriction. So if they leave and go
Yes,
into,
right. I left out the last few words.
okay, so if they go into real estate, they don't have to repay. They go into law enforcement within a year, then they have to repay. So the city attorney report on this, the city attorney's not here. We have police department representatives here. You here on that matter? Commander? Yeah, why don't you come forward and then we can.
Actually, I think Mr. DiCarlo can talk about the financial aspects, and if you have questions about training, either myself or Dr. Fidel can.
Okay, great.
Peter DiCarlo, Police Department. The ordinance will extend the coverage from just police officers to other trainees from departments such as World Airports, Port of LA, Park Rangers, and General Services. So the same provisions would fall for those people that are trained as currently for LA police officers, that if they leave within the 5 years and go to another department, then they have to pay back the training. So this just expands the existing ad code section.
And how are we doing on recovery of the dollars?
Very little has been actually happening in the last year. In fact, this past year so far, we haven't had anybody fall under the provisions of the ordinance.
Now, how do we follow up if they decide to leave and go to another agency versus go into real estate or medical school or whatever the case may be, or become an attorney? Become an attorney. Or become an attorney. I'm just picking on one of our candidates here. How do we follow up? They leave the department and they say they're going to move to another state. It turns out they join law enforcement. How do we follow up to verify?
I believe there's contact between the two departments. When somebody goes to another department and they find out that they were formerly employed as a police officer, I believe there's contact that's made back to our department. So we'll find out at that point that the person has applied for a job with another agency.
And if they wait a year, then they can do that without repaying any costs.
That's how the ordinance reads.
Because I remember when this matter first came up with Rudy Savornich, someone graduated the academy, police academy, LA Police Academy, and on a Friday and I think on a Monday, they were in Orange County at another agency. So we paid for the training, and they jumped on. That's, I think, was the impetus that made this come about. And then we wanted to include the other agencies that were training because of the cost involved. And if we're going to train them, they don't have any desire to remain with us, we should receive the cost back. Do you know how much has been recouped over the years since we started this?
I don't have that number. All I know is that for this current fiscal year, we've had nobody fall under the ordinance's provisions.
Okay.
But I also understand that over the years, the number has tapered off.
They've realized, and I guess the other agencies have realized too, we pay for the training and they get the trained qualified personnel. Because the ordinance started
It was in 1998,
when it started, and then this is the first modification since then?
I believe so.
Okay. All right. I think it's a good idea. It was my motion because I wanted to make sure we received the compensation back for those that wish to go to another agency. They can go, but they gotta pay it back. Okay. That's it, so we will recommend approval. And that one's done. Thank you very much, Peter. Thanks, Commander. Number 2,
For item 2, you have a communication from the mayor. This is relative to the appointment of Ms. Araceli Campos to the Commission on the Status of Women for the term ending June 30, 2009, and a subsequent reappointment for the term ending June 30th, 2014.
so she's gonna be here until June of '09, which is a couple months. And then we're gonna automatically reappoint to 2014.
And that is why the transmittal was revised, so that you don't have to have the candidate come twice. So basically, you're doing both appointments at the same time.
And what happened to the previous individual who was
I
on
believe
that
the mayor's
commission?
office is here. They might be able to answer that question.
Resigned?
Yes, prior to the June expiration.
Oh, okay. Miss Katie Buckland resigned March 4th. Okay. Kelly, do we know why she resigned? It was personal reasons. Okay. Well, Ms. Campos, welcome.
Good afternoon.
You have a unique background.
Thank you.
We had a pre-meeting, so I learned all the good things. Why don't you give the other folks here a little information about yourself? That I was very impressed with your accomplishments over your short time on Earth.
Thank you. I went to El Rancho High School in Pico Rivera. Following that, I went to Yale University. Subsequent to that, I worked for Antonia Hernandez, who's a strong female leader in Los Angeles, now the head of the California Community Foundation, and a mentor to me. I worked with her at MALDIF as her executive assistant. Following that, with her assistance, I attended Stanford Law School and have been practicing as an attorney for 5 years now, both in litigation and transactional work, starting my career at Manat, Phelps & Phillips. And I had mentioned to you previously that my mother is also a strong role model of mine. Grew up in Mexico in an orphanage, was married at 14, and had my sister by 15, and also experienced domestic violence. And so I know these issues firsthand, and I'm proud to say she has come a long way since then, educating herself into a position at a company as a buyer, and has a whole new life now with a new wonderful partner who is union member here in Los Angeles. And so I feel that it's something that is very close to my heart, these issues, and doing more with these issues. This is kind of work I've been doing on my own, in my own time, voluntarily for about 15 years now, actually. And it's my passion, and I would be privileged to be part of this commission.
Well, I was very impressed with where you started and your mom and the situation, single parent, 2 young babies, and to come where you have, Stanford to Yale. What about your sister?
My sister is a scientist. She went to Cal State LA. She graduated after about 7 years and then moved to Berlin, Germany, which is LA's sister city. And she went on a 6-month exchange program and stayed ever since. So it's been about 10 years now.
She forgot to come home. She liked it so much. No, you're well qualified for that. And Kelly Hawkins is a wonderful lady who leads that. We also discussed that there's going to be some changes with the consolidation
Yes.
due to funding, so I don't think they've worked all the details out. But I'm sure you'll be a welcome addition. And you have volunteered your time to come out in the community, meet with folks, inform them, opportunities.
Yes.
And you're an example of how you can overcome some negative in a life to turn it into positive and to be very successful. I mean, some go to Stanford, some go to Yale, but to go to Yale and Stanford, you know,
Thank you.
that's the double gold star.
Well, I
So-
reiterate my offer to serve as a resource to the City Council. And
We will be calling on you, definitely.
great.
We call on Kelly all the time, and
Okay.
she's running ragged trying to keep everything going. Does this make your commission fully staffed now? I mean staff, I mean commissioners. As far as the administrative staff, that's something different. As far as you're fully staffed with commissioners. Okay. Have you met Kelly yet before today?
I have. We spoke on the phone.
On the phone?
Yes.
Okay, she's a wonderful director of that operation, the GM of our Commission on Status Women, gets things done. So we will recommend approval on that one. We welcome you. You're coming to council when?
Next Tuesday.
Next Tuesday, I'll come before the council, and the grilling shouldn't be that difficult for you.
Okay.
But then you'll get to meet all the council members.
Good.
Great.
Thank
Look
you very
forward to seeing you. You're welcome. You're welcome. Okay, so recommendation approval on that, and our number 3 and final matter today.
Okay, for item 3, you have a request from the Water and Power Department. And this is similar to the one that you had the last meeting where they're recommending approval of various agreements for medical insurance. This particular one is with Blue Shield of California, and this is to provide continued health care services for active and retired employees of the Department of Water and Power.
Okay, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
You are?
Rose Garcia with the Department of Water and Power.
Okay. Tell us why you need this.
This is to continue the health and dental benefits for the health benefits for the retirees and actives that are participating in the Blue Shield program. This is the last of our health plan contracts. You had the other ones the last meeting.
And when does this expire?
They expire every year. Every year
A
with
year?
Medicare.
Just year contracts? You
And-
can't get them longer than that?
We'd love to get them longer than that, but no, we can't.
Well, with the new 3-cent, they're gonna add on soda cans, we'll be able to, did you hear about that? That's how they're gonna fix the national health crisis. Did you hear about that one? No. You haven't?
No.
Well, it came out, they're gonna add 3 cents tax to each can of soda, and that's gonna fund national health care. Is that correct? That's what I heard?
That's a part of the proposal, yes.
Yeah. So when you buy soda, you're helping healthcare.
And you can also pay for plastic bags.
And play for plastic bags, yeah. All right, so this is basically just a routine, when did it expire, the current,
It will expire June of this year.
June?
Mhm.
Next month?
Mhm.
So this will give us the opportunity to continue
From July 1.
600,000 active employees, 19.1 million for retired employees?
Mhm. It's for our retirees that are both in California and out of California. So that's
Wow.
why we have multiple contracts.
It's amazing, that much, 600 for active and 19.1 for retired. You must have a lot of retired people.
That we do.
17, okay, you got 17,000 active and retired, okay. 17,000 folks on both sides of the fence. All right, so this is basically routine without any opposition. We will approve that.
And just for clarification, since you are the only member here, it will go as a communication from the chair, which basically requires a public hearing in council. It's just
The formality.
red tape type of thing, formality.
Mhm.
So when you see it, even though there was an opportunity for public hearing here, it would have to be, on the agenda, it will be listed as public hearing required.
Because we don't have a
It's going as a
quorum.
communication and you don't have a quorum.
Okay, so you may want to come to council that day. Alrighty, make sure that they know on the other, well, it shouldn't matter on 1 and 2, just on this matter, in case someone has a question.
Okay,
Sometimes some of them do.
no problem.
Okay, thank you.
Okay? And there are no cards for public comment.
3:15, we're done. And there's the two